Right, so Nigel Farage has just assembled the most unexpected army in British political history, and I promise you, you will not see this coming. If you're not already subscribed to Brit Article, you're about to miss the wildest plot twist in Westminster this year. So smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because what I'm about to tell you will make you question everything you thought you knew about British politics. Nigel Farage, the man who drinks pints in pubs for a living, the walking embodiment of Brexit, the politician who makes Marmite look universally beloved. He's just won over a demographic that, historically speaking, would rather eat their own sensible footwear than vote Reform UK. And no, it's not pensioners in seaside towns, it's not angry blokes down the pub, it's not even disgruntled taxi drivers, it's Mumsnet. Yes, you heard that right, Mumsnet, the online parenting forum where people debate whether little Tarquin should have screen time and share recipes for sugar-free birthday cakes, has just become Farage's newest recruiting ground, and honestly, Labour should be absolutely terrified. Now, for those of you who've never ventured into the wild, wonderful world of Mumsnet, let me paint you a picture. Created back in 2000 by Justine Roberts, this platform has 8 million users. That's not a typo, 8 million. To put that in perspective, that's more people than voted for the Liberal Democrats in the last election. These are the people who've survived toddler tantrums at Tesco, navigated school admissions like they're storming the beaches of Normandy, and can tell you 17 different ways to remove crayon from wallpaper. They are organized, they are informed, and they absolutely do not mess about. Historically, Mumsnet has been what political observers lovingly call a bastion of soft lefty politics. It's where you'd find earnest discussions about organic baby food, the merits of Montessori education, and passionate debates about whether Boris Johnson's hair was a deliberate distraction technique. Conservative views? You'd be more likely to find a unicorn doing the school run. It was the kind of place where admitting you thought people should, pay their own way would get you digitally tarred and feathered faster than you can say means-tested child benefit. Which is why the latest Mumsnet political poll is causing absolute chaos in Westminster right now. According to brand new research that appeared in the Times, 20% of Mumsnet users now intend to vote Reform UK in the next election. 20%. That's not a rounding error, that's a political earthquake. And here's the kicker that will make your jaw drop. Reform UK is now ahead of Labour, ahead of the Conservatives, and ahead of the Liberal Democrats on Mumsnet. This is the first time since the poll began in 2009 that Labour has been beaten. Labour, the party that basically had Mumsnet in their back pocket for over a decade, has just been dumped like a bad boyfriend who forgot Valentine's Day. Now, I can already hear some of you thinking, who cares? It's one poll on a parenting website about nappy rashes and sleep training, and that, my friends, is where you'd be catastrophically wrong. Mumsnetters know the power of the Mumsnet vote. In the past, prime ministers and party leaders have hosted live web chats on the platform, desperately trying to win over these users like they're appearing on Question Time. David Cameron did it, Ed Miliband did it, even Nick Clegg subjected himself to it before the tuition fees betrayal destroyed his political career. These aren't just random internet commenters, these are engaged, educated, politically active voters who organize, mobilize, and actually turn up on polling day. So what on earth has caused this seismic shift? Why are the same people who used to discuss reusable nappies and baby-led weaning now considering voting for the most anti-establishment politician in modern British history? Well, according to the research, Mumsnetters are absolutely fuming about a few key issues, and honestly, can you blame them? They're angry about taxes, they're livid about welfare reform, or rather the complete lack of meaningful welfare reform. They're frustrated with the NHS, which is barely functioning and has waiting lists longer than a toddler's Christmas list, and they're concerned about immigration policy. These aren't fringe concerns cooked up by right-wing think tanks, these are kitchen table issues that affect real families every day. When you're paying more in taxes than ever before, but can't get a GP appointment for your sick kid, you get angry. When you're working full-time, following all the rules, paying into the system, and then watching your tax money get spent on what feels like everything except the services you actually need, you start questioning your political loyalties. It's not rocket science, or as one might say, it's not as complicated as surviving 2 hours at a soft play centre with 3 sugar-rushed children and 1 frazzled parent.
Now, here's where it gets properly interesting. These Mumsnet users don't even particularly like Nigel Farage. The poll found that overall sentiment toward him was actually negative. They're not forming fan clubs or hanging posters of him in their kitchens next to the school calendar. But despite not being keen on the man himself, they're willing to vote for him because they appreciate his relatability, clear communication, perceived authenticity, political success, and consistency. They said he's less PR scripted than other politicians, which in British politics is like saying he's less bland than a rice cake. It's a low bar, but apparently everyone else is limbo dancing underneath it. Think about what that means for a second. These voters are so disillusioned with mainstream politics that they're willing to vote for someone they don't even like because at least he seems real. At least when Farage says something, you believe he actually means it, even if you disagree with every word. Compare that to the current government, where every statement sounds like it's been through 17 focus groups, approved by 6 PR consultants, and carefully worded to offend absolutely nobody, while also saying absolutely nothing. And this brings us to Labour's absolutely massive problem. When it comes to relatability, Labour is currently failing harder than a dad trying to plait his daughter's hair for the first time. And they really don't help themselves by constantly wheeling out Rachel Reeves, who has about as much natural warmth and charisma as a self-service checkout at Tesco. I'm not saying she's not intelligent or capable, but the woman could make reading a bedtime story sound like a budget announcement. She's got all the affability of an AI chatbot that's been programmed exclusively on economic data and treasury spreadsheets. The problem is that Labour has completely lost touch with the people who used to be their core voters. Working families, people who play by the rules, people who want good public services in exchange for their taxes, but also believe in personal responsibility and controlled immigration. These voters haven't suddenly become right-wing extremists. They've just watched Labour drift away from them into a world of abstract policy discussions and identity politics that feels completely disconnected from their daily reality of childcare costs, energy bills, and whether they can afford a summer holiday this year. And as the local elections approach, with all the ominous tension of the Jaws theme tune, da-dum, 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 Keir Starmer has a genuinely serious problem on his hands. Because if you know anything about the United Kingdom, there's one group of people you should absolutely never, ever mess with: British mums. These are people who've negotiated with terrorists disguised as overtired 3-year-olds. They've managed household budgets that would make government ministers weep. They've organised birthday parties with military precision and handled schoolgate politics that make Westminster look civilised. They are resourceful, determined, and when they decide something needs to change, it changes. The Mumsnet vote isn't just about one demographic shifting allegiance. It's a canary in the coal mine for a much bigger problem facing the established political parties. When educated, engaged, previously left-leaning voters start looking at Reform UK and thinking, you know what, maybe they've got a point. That's not just a polling blip. That's a full-scale political realignment happening in real time. The bigger picture. Reform UK winning over Mumsnet is like finding out your vegetarian friend just ordered a steak. It shouldn't happen according to everything we thought we knew, but here we are, and it tells you something fundamental has changed. These voters aren't being seduced by populist rhetoric or falling for cheap tricks. They're making calculated decisions based on their lived experiences and what they see as the complete failure of mainstream parties to address their legitimate concerns. Starmer can dismiss this at his peril, but ignoring angry, organised, politically engaged mothers is roughly as smart as trying to defuse a bomb wearing oven mitts. It cannot and will not end well. The local elections will be the first real test of whether this polling translates into actual votes, and if Reform UK starts winning in constituencies that were previously safe Labour territory, the political establishment will have a full-blown crisis on their hands. So, there you have it. Nigel Farage's newest supporters wear sensible shoes, know exactly how much a pint of milk costs, and could probably run the country better than the current lot while simultaneously organising a school bake sale. If you want to stay ahead of every wild twist in British politics, subscribe to Brit Article and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.